3,139 push-ups in 24 days. What's the point? What will I get out of it? Hey guys, Contemplative Fitness here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm telling the story of the recent journey I embarked on of completing 3,139 push-ups in 24 days. Now the first question you're probably asking is, why 3,139? Why not just do 3,000 push-ups, a nice round number? You're probably also wondering if it's worth doing something like this, if this will actually give you any benefit at all. Is it worth adding to your training? So firstly, the random number. The reason for this is that this push-up challenge was run by a charity called the Push for Better Foundation, which is a registered health promotion charity in Australia. The challenge involves doing daily push-ups throughout the month of June over 24 days, minus a few rest days. You find out the number of push-ups required on the day using the app they provide. And the number is usually based around a significant mental health statistic. So for example, on day 24, we did 135 push-ups because a recent study showed that 135 minutes of exercise per week provided a significant antidepressant effect, so 3 times 45-minute sessions in a week. Another example of another statistic was on day 21, we did 198 push-ups, and 198 unfortunately is the number of men who die from suicide every month in Australia. Each day throughout the 24 days is a random number based on a mental health statistic. And you could do the number of push-ups any way you wanted. You could break it down any way you wanted. You could do them all in one go, or you could spread them out throughout the day. I personally opted to do them all in one go to treat it more like a workout. Unless it was a particularly big day, for example, if we're doing 200 plus push-ups per day, I'd break it down into maybe a morning and an evening session, depending how busy I was. I mostly did EMOM work. For those of you who follow the channel, you know I'm a big fan of EMOM, which stands for every minute on the minute. And if you want to know a little bit more about that kind of training, just click on the top right hand link in that corner there. So I did EMOM most of the days, depending on the number of push-ups given for that day, but it usually fell between 10 and 20, doing 10 sets, so 10 minutes. So you're probably wondering what I got out of doing all these push-ups, these daily push-ups, and if it's worth doing the same in your training. And there are 3 main things that I can think of that I got out of doing this. So firstly, it kept my training consistent. It kept my training consistent despite being on a holiday. So as you know, I'm currently in the UK, just come back to visit family and friends. And I actually initially turned down a proposal from a friend who asked me to do this challenge because I thought I'd be too busy traveling back to the UK, taking flights, seeing family and friends, traveling around the UK. Didn't think I'd have time to do the push-ups. But then I actually thought, perhaps this is a good thing. This is a good opportunity. It will motivate me to work out when I don't have time. And to be honest, it did. It worked really well. So there were so many days where I'd be out all day doing things, seeing people. And then I'd come home and the last thing I wanted to do was any push-ups. But because I had this push-up challenge that I knew I had to do, it just forced me to the push-ups at all times of day, and I just did it regardless of how I felt. Now I wasn't perfect, I did miss some days, but if I missed a day I just had to catch up on the number of push-ups the following day. So it was a big incentive not to miss a day, because then the next day I'd have to do double the amount of push-ups, would be obviously be a big struggle. Also, the app that they provided, the push-up challenge app, was laid out in quite a smart way. So you'd bank your push-ups and you try to keep the streak alive, which encouraged you to keep doing the push-ups every single day. Which actually reminds me of one of my favorite books that I've reread recently, which is Atomic Habits. I read it a few years ago and I reread it. It's basically about how to build good habits and get rid of bad habits. And one of the 3rd laws of building and maintaining a good habit is making it satisfying. The app does a good job of making the push-up satisfying. You want to keep that push-up daily streak alive, so you don't want to miss any days. Another thing he mentions in the book is the phrase never miss twice. So if you miss a workout, don't miss 2 workouts, only ever miss 1. We all go through life sometimes and we just can't train every day. If you do miss a workout, just jump straight back in. Otherwise you'll build the bad habit of missing workouts. And that leads me on to another benefit of this challenge, was that it helped me build the daily habit of exercise. Not that I didn't have this habit already, but the daily habit of exercise when I'm on holiday, when I'm relaxing and I'm busy. I won't go into too much more detail on this book, but I highly recommend it for anyone who's trying to work out, to improve themselves, to build better habits and get rid of bad habits they don't want. So thirdly, and probably the most important thing about this whole challenge, was that it was all for charity. And the whole purpose of the campaign was to spread awareness about mental health and raise money for mental health services in Australia. I've mentioned before on this channel that this channel isn't just about physical health and promoting physical health. It's also about mental health and mental well-being. I really do believe we're having a worldwide mental health crisis, and it's my opinion that things are probably only going to get worse over the next 10 years if we don't do something about it. This charity, the Push for Better campaign, raised 10 million Australian dollars this year, which is absolutely fantastic. But it's just a dent in what we need to prevent this mental health crisis. But it's challenges like this which get more people aware about mental health and give more people access to services that they need. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. As always, remember to leave a comment. I read and answer all the comments. If you've got any questions about anything, just ask a question and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm also on other socials like Instagram and TikTok at Contemplative Fitness, just like this channel's name. And I'd just like to leave a message here at the end from Paddy Pimblett, who recently won the UFC in London for his division. And I think this is just an amazing post-fight interview he had. He sadly lost one of his friends to suicide just before his fight. And I think it's a very powerful and important message that people need to hear.